Hello guys, let's on this video I actually want to show you more of how to make a tiling environment texture inside Texelizer. So let's start with this plain primitive, and I will actually drag this here because I am mostly planning on using the 2D viewport of this one. Yeah, so so let's see how we can make a tiling texture. So first of all, I actually want to color this black. Let's merge that down. Do that's the canonical tile border. Tone down some size jitter scatter. That's fine. And first we are actually going to make a brush tip for making this. So I want to make something like a stone, like some kind of ground texture which has stone in it. Actually, we don't need the tiling for this. So let's just draw a pretty rough shape like this, something like that. And just color it in. This will be the brush tip texture. So of course you can do this in any painting program you want, but I'll just do it in Texelizer because why not? Transform it a bit. Let's erase it a bit so that it's a bit smoother on the edges, although I don't think it will matter too much. And maybe a bit sharper there, and a bit sharper there as well. Okay. And then, yeah, so that's like a stone that is, silhouette of stone that is like on the ground, like a pretty big stone. So yeah, now I'm happy with that shape. I'll export it. And yeah, I am actually going to export it here. So I'll just export it straight to Texelizer's brush tip folder, which is in config Texelizer tips. This is on Linux. So with Windows, this would be app data roaming Texelizer tips. So I'll just save it here. I'm on a pen tablet, so I get this giant keyboard. Don't mind that. Save and export. There it is. And now if I press refresh, I saved it with the name export to, so there it is. This is actually one from my earlier test. Let's resize this a bit. Okay, so there it is. I can now use it as a brush tip. And I'll probably want to just hide that. And I'll actually save now this actual project file. Don't want to save it there, I'll save it there instead. Let's do this. Alright. So now with these new brush settings that will be available in patch 1.0.2, if everything goes well. So we have access to things like scatter, our eraser, nice, scatter. So this is using the tip. You can see that it scatters. If I increase it, it does it more. Yeah, stuff like that. Then we have the size jitter. I'll just show these off real quick. So that does what you would expect. Let's take the pen pressure size off. So it just instantiates the brush tip, like randomizes the size for every like brush dab that it paints on the canvas. And then opacity jitter. So this just changes the opacity, randomizes the opacity for each dab. And that's it for those. The ordering might change a bit still. Then we have this new thing here. So this is the tip angle. So I can rotate the tip. And let's actually turn that off. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's one more jitter option which I missed. If you right click this, it resets to default. This is what it looks like. So it just mirrors what is here. Pretty simple. And then you have this rotation jitter. By the way, sorry about this font. With the new truncation options, it should show 3 dots here, but instead it's showing just a question mark with this font. But yeah, this rotation jitter just randomizes the rotation of this brush tip with each dab, each rotation of each dab. And if you put it to 180 degrees, it means that it can rotate the tip 180 degrees clockwise or 180 degrees counterclockwise with each dab. If you put it on 90, it will result in a 180 degree arc instead. So yeah, you can use this to add a bit of randomness to your stroke. And one more thing is this is a new thing, follow orientation for the brush tip. So as it says also the tooltip, it rotates to follow the stroke direction. So let's make sure that rotation jitter is off. And now if you pay attention to this tip, you can see that it rotates to face the direction that I am moving my mouse to. So you can do stuff like this with this setting. So that is a new feature as well, coming in the same patch. And okay, now that I have demoed all of those, we can start actually making the tiling environment texture with these new features. So let's say that I want to scatter these stones around like all over the canvas so that it looks like they're kind of naturally sticking out from the ground somehow. So for that I would go maybe a bit of scatter. That's probably all right. Then do we want opacity? Let's check this. Does it work? Yes, it does work. Okay. I'm not sure if I want that. Maybe not at this point. Maybe not. Let's instead keep it at full opacity, and then what I do want is this rotation jitter, so I'll just put it to 180. So now I get these randomly scattered stones. And I actually want to do this with a pencil. Sorry about that, I was in the brush tool. Just quickly dial these in. This is global, so since the brush tip thing is also global, so it persists if you change tools, but then the actual brush settings are per tool. Just something to keep in mind. So yeah, now with the pencil tool we get like a proper mask. And let's see. Now is a good time to turn on tiling. So now we have a 3x3 tiling thing. And what this mode also does, as you can see, it wraps around the, like if you make this kind of dab here and you don't have tiling on, it won't do this, of course. So, but with this tiling mode, it will wrap the brush stroke around the canvas edges. So this is really handy for doing tiling stuff. So now it just means that all brush strokes that I do here will automatically tile. So you don't have to use the clone tool or anything like that. You can just keep the tiling on and they will tile. And I'll just scatter these stones around a bit. Maybe a bit less scatter. Okay. Well, yeah, that's good enough for me for this tutorial. And probably now I want to just keep that as a base, and then I actually want to turn those things off and just do that and do that. I can actually make a quick masking if I hold down Control and then press on this thumbnail, which houses which I just painted these rocks on. So now I have like a marching ants. I don't know if you can see it, but kind of marching ants mask there. So now I can paint on these. Now I want to enable pen pressure opacity. And then just start painting these. And this is a bit too red to be a rock. So I'll do something like this instead, which is more bluish. You can use, of course, something like gradient tool or fill tool to also quickly color these, but I like to use this brush tool because that's the way I roll. There is two rocks there, so maybe let's do something like a bit of a shadow there. Then a bit of a highlight there so that somehow looks like two rocks. Let's just mark it down real quick like that, so that I can refine it further later. And there's quite a cluster of rocks there as well. So there's some shadow. I have no idea what kind of result this will be. Sorry about that. If it will be bad, I apologize. Also, if you don't want to see me do all this, you can also, of course, skip ahead. The reason why these videos are unedited is because I just don't want to spend too much time on editing. It's that simple. Simple reason. Just coloring these real quick. Some shadow there as well. Okay, now I've got that. Alright, then next I'll just press actually, no. Can I invert my selection? I don't remember. Probably not, but it doesn't really matter. I'll just deselect that. Now I can hide this for now. This is the original black and white mask. So I need some kind of soil. Let's go a bit desaturated. That's fine for me. Then I want some shadows there. I have some scattering on. Let's turn that off. Let's duplicate this a few. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's not duplicate it then. So this is supposed to be like some kind of AO. Actually, what if I try to do it with drop shadow? Yep, and then size. Yikes, that doesn't look too good. I mean, yeah, I don't know about that one. Maybe not. I'll just do it by hand because that's the way I roll. That drop shadow effect was a bit too uniform for my tastes. So if I do this by hand, I probably will get a bit more organic looking effect. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, I can paint on the preview tiles as well. It will work fine. Alright. There's still some shadow parts missing and the shadow is super uneven. But it does look a bit organic now that it's not like uniformly everywhere, unlike the drop shadow. Okay, so that's in its own layer. Let's save. Then a new layer. Actually, that is bugging me, that one. It's fine. Then what do we want to do next? I think we want to do some more, start polishing these rocks. So I am going to paint each rock by hand. And you are free to skip ahead if you don't want to see this. And if you didn't skip ahead, then good for you. Okay, I should probably try to establish some kind of rule where the light is coming from, because these are looking a bit too flat right now. So what if the light could be coming from like the top? Maybe. Yeah, let's do tops. Let's do top. So all of these would need some kind of highlight. Yeah, so these are more like pebbles than rocks, probably, or something like that. Not much to say here as I keep working through these. If you don't like painting, you could always just mask out this shape that you made, so instead of painting you could, for example, just drop in photo textures or something like that to paint the rocks or to like color the rocks. You can do anything you want. Okay, we have something already. Still long ways to go. Now that's the highlight layer, except that one highlight is there. Let's actually get rid of it this time. I'm going to do things properly this time. And new layer and then some shading. Hopefully this will make this thing work. What does that look like? Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with it actually breaking the solid edges. Those were more like some kind of suggestion where the rock should lie anyway, so yeah, just keeping the tiling on and painting away here. That looks a bit weird. I wouldn't probably go this fast if I was not making a video. I would take my time a lot more, but because I don't want to have this video be like 10 hours long, I am going to have to treat this more like a speed paint. Alright, yep, slowly getting there. doesn't look like much when you're zoomed in, but then when you zoom out, you see what you have actually been making. And yeah, of course, there's the 3D viewport actually, which you can use like a little zoomed out view, so you can see your texture there while you paint. Oh, that's a bit too dark. Slightly bump it up and then start applying it to these all kinds of nooks which might be found here. Should I actually put there as well? I don't know. That is looking pretty weird actually. How would I solve this? Pick an eraser. Oh, there's the scattering. Because it is per tool, not global. Actually erase that part there. Alright. Switch back to pencil. Switch back to dark. And yeah, just start sculpting these rocks with more shading. Yeah, these larger rocks should probably throw some kind of like a longer shadow on the ground if the light was really coming from the top part of the image. So, but I don't know if I can actually. It was maybe a bit bad idea to establish the light there, but I'll see what I can do. Will it increase the time to paint? I have to now paint all this shadow there. Does that look like anything? I don't know. If I just pick a bigger brush and start painting big, this is also a weird one, which I might need to fix somehow. See if I can just shade it a bit. Whoa, that's a bit. Yeah, this is the power of the tiling. Just keep it on and paint, and everything will tile automatically. So that is a really nice feature for doing this kind of stuff. And it's right there. Activate it and deactivate it whenever you want. If you don't want to have the tiling in some place, then just deactivate it and just... If you're doing something that is tiling horizontally only or something like that, then it might be useful to disable it in some cases, or Okay, there's still some shadows missing from there. This is quite a cluster going on here. All right. As always, I'm not really too worried about anything right now. Not particularly interested if this doesn't turn out well, because this is meant to be more like a demo. More like a demo for Texelizer rather than like an art tutorial. So because there isn't too much Texelizer content on YouTube, so this might be useful for some people who have just learned about the program for the first time. Ooh, that one is missing everything. Not anymore. Okay, so now a lot of these rocks are lacking definition still, so I'll just move into these now. So there could be some kind of shadow there. How do rocks work? Maybe there could be a shadow. One shadow there as well. Some highlights were added. No. Skip it for now. Skip doing highlights for now. Yeah, that's not. This is not going very well right now. Just erase this part here. Move to something else maybe. Bit more lighter color. But you can also always do better job than I at making this. It's not really about Texelizer, it's just about your art skills. So Texelizer has enough tools to make this work, but me, I don't have those, not so much art skills right now. So it is a skill issue. The one reason that I am also making this video is because I do want to make some stuff, like make art more, and also I want to test this latest patch where these new brush features are. So I'm doing both at the same time. I'm actually doing three things at the same time because I am also recording this video and posting it. Or I am not actually sure if I'm posting this, but maybe. If the result is somewhat good, then I might post this. But if the result sucks, then I probably won't. No one will see this. But if you're watching this right now, then you know that the end result was good enough for me. Okay, well. Oh yeah, 2D viewport doesn't have the, like, I was searching for the bilinear filtering, but this is actually upside down. Or is it? No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, so I was just looking for the bilinear toggle, but it's actually only on the 3D viewport. Okay. Alright, let's try to continue to keep this not too long. Space texture. Okay, you can then put in some Berlin noise. I'm not quite sure what kind of noise would I want. Let's see. So as you can see, the Berlin noise will tile as well. Okay, that's multiply, that's not really very good. What if I invert colors? No. Of course not. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is either. Let's see, which blending mode should I use for the thing I wanna do? Okay, maybe overlay. Yeah, that's the smaller picture, it's looking better. Yeah. So now there's some color variation in the soil, whereas before it was just completely solid. And what should I'm contemplating if I should make like a solid black outline for all these rocks, and go for a more like a stylized look instead. Yeah, let's not do that. It is actually a bit tricky. Maybe if I do the pen pressure size, I might be able to get a better result. What if I use some blur on this? Yeah, sure. Now I can just keep the blur on and then paint. And all my strokes will be blurred as well. Yeah, I'll just try this. I'm not sure if it will work, but is this like a contact shadow maybe? I don't know. Should I just put it to the shadow side of the rock? Not sure if that's working. Not sure if that's working, but we will see in a minute. This is a lot of repetitive work. So, I don't know if this was a good idea for a video tutorial, but at least this is honest. Honest and uncut. So you will actually see what it's like to work with Texelizer in real time. Although I'm not sure if this is honest if I don't post this. Like if it fails, if the result is bad and I don't post this, then is it really that honest? Okay. Well, we do have something, at least. Yeah, I think that actually works pretty well. Okay, let's keep it still on as a live effect. I will bake it later if it causes some problems. And now I want to make the finer highlights for these rocks. Although I'm not actually sure if it's a bit too early for that, but let's see. So some kind of highlights where the light would hit. There's the power of the tiling again. And there, I don't have to use the clone tool, I don't have to do anything, I just paint. Okay. All right. I don't actually think this is working too well, but I will still go with it anyway. This one is like really ugly. what layer is the... Okay, that is that, so I'll just tweak this a bit. Just do those to the same layer as well. Okay. Not the greatest thing in the world. That's actually pretty nice. I like that one. Okay, now this is starting to fall down where I'll break down this structure of the document where I start to just sample the colors and I'm not doing the layers anymore. I'm proper confining myself to the layer structure. Maybe that's for the best actually at this point, because otherwise this is a bit too rigid for my style, this working style, so I'll just start making everything on this one layer from now on. Okay. Okay. Just blending the shadow side so that the hard gray areas of the rock are not that visible. I think that makes it look a bit better. So it kind of blends into the ground just a bit. And I could also add some proper blending to the ground so that at least some of the rocks could rise up from the ground a bit. Because it kind of looks like they are just like flat on the ground right now. Alright. It's a bit bad. Let's add something more there. Bit more ground there. if I use the spray tool a bit? I very rarely use this tool, so this will be interesting. What can I do with this? Should I first spray, then maybe use caution blur? Maybe. Maybe that could work as like a blend. Blend the colors together a bit. Is this a new layer? Yes. Good, good, good. These smaller ones need especially some of this spraying treatment. Yeah, that will probably tie it up nicely. Oh, that is rough. I've missed that rock entirely, so I'm just gonna brush over it. There we go. Okay, yeah, that made it a bit better. Let's put some more here as well. Yeah, we are most likely starting to near the end because I don't want to spend too much time polishing this. So I'm just now trying to do these kind of bigger tweaks that will hopefully save this. Yeah, I think that is pretty nice, though it could be better as well. Let's see what else I got here. Well, I have two of those. If I try this tip, rotation jitter, and should I use hard edge? Yeah, let's go for it, and then scatter size jitter to max. And now I want to introduce some color variations to this. So let's maybe do that. Now because of the scatter, it does it all over the place. And it continues to tile perfectly. Because I had the tiling on. This is actually something that I could have done as well. What if I just do like this? Something like that. For example, like a bit of texture there, and then I might actually make a mask and then start erasing it away a bit. Does it work? I need to disable these now. Because it's a little bit too much. So yeah, now I'm just brushing black onto the mask, which I just made to this. Taking it off so that it's not so uniform and it's a bit more organic again. Because that's what I like. So that makes some kind of... If I make it up just a bit lighter... Yeah, that doesn't work. What if I put it darker? That actually might work. Oh. Yeah, I think that is working, the darker one. Okay, let's do that. Can we make it like a bit reddish? That one is not bad either, but it looks a bit weird. Okay, so the red would be somewhere around there, I guess. It's more cyan though. So it would be like somewhere around there, I guess, and then just to get introduce some like color variation into the texture. How about contrast? Okay, maybe that is pretty good. Let's brush. Now that I tweaked it, I need to brush the mask away some more because it's more visible now. But this is of course just my way and my tastes, so you can do what you want. But you already know that. Some of the edges of the rocks are a bit sharp and pixelated instead of like blending smoothly. So was it so that, oh yeah, this only affects active layer, so this blur tool, so I am gonna need to find that layer, so this is the one. What if I do that? Hey, that actually works pretty nicely. If I hide the layer, hide the base layer that I made. What if I just tone it down so that it blends more, gets more of the brown color? I think that looks pretty nice. Yeah. And let's see if we still have that problem. So yeah, it's a bit more subdued, but there is still some parts, for example here. So now I have the blur tool enabled. I'll just, for example, there is something. That is bugging me so much right now. I need to fix it immediately. Okay. Erase or just erase part of it off. Something like that. That is actually kind of bugging me as well. Okay, let's brush it as well. Okay, now I'm actually a bit more happy with this. What if we do another round of Berlin noise? It will probably be too noisy, but let's see. What if I do like this, like a really sharp noise? Something like that. fine or no? I don't know. Maybe if I erase some of it. Make a soft bruise. Oh, layer hidden. See, it's so low opacity that I don't even know when it's on. That is the secret of making art. Small incremental changes. I talk like I'm some master, but I'm not. But yeah, whatever. Okay, so does this work or not? I'm not sure. Oh, it's hidden again. Contrast. What if I put it really big contrast and then what if I take the blur tool again and just blur some of the parts? Maybe even do this. And now blur some of it away. Bit more radius. Or a lot more radius. This would probably be the best when it is around those rocks, so I'll try to erase the parts that are not around the rocks. Oh, that is actually some kind of seam we have there. What is that? Is that an FX layer? Is it the mask? It might. Is it the blur tool maybe? Oh yeah, it is Gaussian blur. It's this. So when it does this, it creates that kind of mask or the seam rather. I really like it, but yeah, so here's the deal, the way we can deal with this. So just click bake, so now it's not like a live effect anymore. It's part of the actual pixels of the layer, so now I can just erase the parts that are where the seam is showing. So unfortunately, the Gaussian blur effect is such that it doesn't like tile. It's a bit trickier one. Newest thing is still this one is. I have to say that it's not looking great like that, so let's just tone it down. There maybe. Okay, but now the tiling is pretty much fixed. At least I can't find too much of it anymore. There's that one. That actually looks still like good, so maybe we can take this down a bit further even. Yeah. Oh yeah. I still want more color variations to this. How do we do next? This could be already finished for the sake of this tutorial, but I'll spend just a few more minutes I want to see if I can come up with something that really takes this to the next level. Makes it slightly like fuller. I do like that. That's the first win. Next win. Well, I will try to introduce some green. Some green to tie it together, but it's slightly weird that it's green, but I do like it still. Maybe tone down it a bit. Tone down the greenness a bit by changing the hue, then change the layer opacity. Okay. Maybe I'll just add a color tweak layer. The contrast was pretty good in my opinion. Of course, it depends on your use case, what you want to do with this, but that's cool. If I change the hue just slightly to the right. It is a very slight change. I'm sure you're not gonna see that in YouTube, but alright. Is that it? How long is this? Okay, 1 hour, 8 minutes. So I think that is a pretty good length for this video. Let's just export. Actually, well, we could play with the palettes, but I have already done that in my other videos, so maybe I will not do it in this one. There it is. The finished texture, and we can also make this beautiful turntable animation, because this is really important for this kind of work, to have a turntable animation. This is the prime use case for a turntable export. There we go. Alright, that is the result of today's video. Yeah, pretty good. It's good enough for 1 hour maybe. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this one and have a nice day.